Hello, hello, Aisha.
Hi, Josh. How are you?
Good. How are you? Nice to see you again. How are
Yeah,
things?
yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, I'm doing great.
Everything's okay, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, excellent. You're ready for a little bit of chat with me on Marvel comics and Marvel heroes, yeah?
yeah, let's do it.
Okay, excellent. All right, so let's do it. How about we play that little video we have in the materials? What do you think of
Sure.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah?
sure.
All right, let me just look for that. There we go. Oh yes, before sorry about that. Before all of this, I have to turn these things on. There we go. Now it's working. Yes, good. And then I'm gonna play the video for us, and then we can have a chat on what we've just seen. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me take care of this too. This should do it. Maybe a little bit too big. How about this? Yeah, this should do it. Okay, great. So this video is called Top 10 Crazy Facts About Marvel. Okay?
Okay, sounds
And
interesting.
yes, and it's gonna the video is gonna talk about some interesting and really strange facts about Marvel Comics. It's a company in the United States that makes comic books and makes movies nowadays, right? They make more movies than comic
Yeah.
books nowadays. So let me again share. Let me share audio with you. My goodness, I forgot about technical aspects. Okay, okay. Share sound. There we go. Now you should be able to hear this as well. Okay, so I'm going to play it. And then I'm going to do some subtitles here. Now, oh, there we go. There it is. I need to set it up in a way so that you can see translation of the subtitles as well. There we go. All right, this should work.
All right.
So you're going to have upper and lower subtitles, and they're both should be in English and Chinese. Let's see.
The company that would later become known as Marvel Comics was founded in 1939 by a man named Martin Goodman. Back then, Marvel was known as Timely Publications and later Timely Comics. In its first year, the company released their first comic titled Marvel.
I'm not getting the translation. Okay, let's try it again. Select subtitles, select, oh, show quick translation. Oh my goodness. There we go. All right, let's try it now.
Okay.
Comics issue number 1. It was a major success, selling hundreds of thousands of copies, featuring characters like the original Human Torch and Namor the Submariner. These two characters, along with Captain America, making his
Still not showing things I wanted to show.
Yeah.
View subtitles. No. Oh my goodness, what did I do now? Oh, so sorry about that.
It's okay.
Just let me know. Full transfer bookmarks. No, let's try it again. Quick translation, full settings. Ah, there we go. There we go.
Oh, can I do a traditional one? Sorry.
Traditional. Here
Yes.
we go. That one? Yeah, sorry. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay. There we go. That should set it up. Now it should work. Okay. Close it. And then
debut in 1941 would remain as Marvel's most popular heroes throughout its early history. Early on, Goodman
Yeah.
hired a young man named
You got
Stanley Lieber, who would go on to create many of the most popular Marvel characters we know today. Of course, you most likely know him by his pseudonym Stan Lee. The 1960s saw the introduction of many teams and individual superheroes, anti-heroes and villains that would come to define what the company is today. Some examples are the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the Hulk, Spider-Man, Ultron, Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, X-Men, Doctor Doom and Galactus, among so many others. In the coming decades, Marvel had its ups and downs and struggled to survive, due in part to a very unstable market, while also competing with its longtime rival, DC Comics. At the turn of the century, Marvel had some success with their live-action movie adaptations. Titles like Blade, X-Men, Spider-Man and Hulk would serve as the early instigators of the immensely popular and thriving superhero movie market we have today. In 2009, Marvel Entertainment, the parent company of Marvel Comics, was acquired by the Walt Disney Company, and with their initiative to launch the Marvel Cinematic Universe, superheroes are more popular than ever before. It was very close that Marvel never even came into existence. You see, in 1937, Martin Goodman was on his honeymoon in Europe with his wife. When it was time to return to the US, Goodman wanted to ride the exciting and marvelous Hindenburg airship. However, as he was late to buy tickets, he was unable to secure 2 seats next to each other, so the couple took a plane back instead. If 2 seats had been available, it's likely they would have perished in the inferno of the now famous Hindenburg disaster. In 1979, comic book artist Dave Cockrum decided to quit his job at Marvel. In the process, he also left a resignation letter explaining why he wanted to leave the company. Now, at roughly the same time, the comic Iron Man issue number 127 was released. In it, Tony Stark's butler Edwin Jarvis also decides to quit his job. Jarvis leaves a resignation letter as well, but it doesn't make much sense. As it turns out, someone at Marvel decided to use the resignation letter left by Cockrum in the comic, the only difference being that he replaced the word Marvel with Avengers. 3 issues later, the confusing letter was explained as a mistake, but some think it was more of a deliberate prank. No one's really sure how the letter ended up in the comic. Wolverine is arguably one of the most popular members of the X-Men, if not one of Marvel's most popular characters overall. During his inception, they wanted to name him either the Wolverine or the Badger. Luckily, they chose the former. I mean, look at this thing, it's just a cute little badger. Now, once they did, the initial idea was for Wolverine to be an actual mutant Wolverine. This is even suggested in the comic X-Men issue number 98, where a scientist mentions that Wolverine is different from the rest of the mutants and doesn't even appear to be human. Another weird thing is that in the beginning, Marvel had a rule that Wolverine could not have visible arm hair while in costume, but when not in costume, it was completely fine. Superman kind of exists in the Marvel universe, well, at least his alternate personality Clark Kent does. In several comics published by Marvel over the years, he has been seen as a background character, even having a few lines here and there. However, this isn't exactly canon, and it isn't exactly Superman. Clark Kent in this case is just a normal news reporter and is only included as a joke and a sort of cameo. It was never intended to be taken seriously. Something I have always wondered about is, after an epic battle taking place in some fictional metropolis somewhere, who's responsible for cleaning up the mess these battles often leave behind? Turns out that Marvel has actually tried to answer that question with an organization appropriately called Damage Control. Damage Control is a large corporation that uses advanced engineering technology to repair anything from an entire city to the Avengers Mansion in a very short amount of time. For example, they were responsible for rebuilding New York after the event known as World War Hulk. I mean, it's a major suspension of disbelief, but hey, at least it's better than just because magic. In 1984, Marvel was doing extremely well. They had a market share of around 70%, with DC Comics at somewhere around 20%. In fact, for many years, DC Comics had struggled financially. So in February of that year, the head of DC Comics' parent company, Warner Communications, called the president of Marvel because he wanted to give them the publishing rights for all of DC Comics' characters. Eventually, they reached an agreement, and Marvel was actually set to acquire DC Comics, along with all of its characters like Superman, Batman, The Flash, and so on. The reason this never happened was because it would have resulted in Marvel completely dominating the industry with a staggering 90% market share, meaning Marvel could essentially do whatever they wanted without any sort of competition. Today, Marvel and DC are at a more equal footing, with other publishers like Dark Horse and Image Comics not too far behind. Michael Jackson was a big fan of comics and had a whole collection of hard-to-find comic book collectibles. One of his favorite characters was Spider-Man. In the 1990s, Marvel was looking into making a live-action Spider-Man movie, and when Michael Jackson heard of this, he wanted to be cast as the lead character, Peter Parker himself. He wanted to do this so badly that he attempted to actually buy Marvel Comics just so he could make and star in this movie. I think we're all pretty happy that this never happened. Aside from the more common characters that get their own movies, TV shows and the like, Marvel has a lot of really weird and obscure characters as well. Some examples are the Pet Avengers, which is exactly what it sounds like. The Avengers if they were animals. Then there's Spider-Ham, which is Spider-Man if he were a pig, and his real name is not Peter Parker, but instead Peter Porker. The Phone Ranger, who is skilled at repairing phone lines and phones. Bird Brain, a human bird. Matador, who's a matador. Leapfrog, literally a man in a frog costume. And then there's Ice Cream, who has the ability to turn himself into ice cream. Why? A large part of the X-Men's storylines follow the characters' struggle to be accepted as ordinary people, how society sees them as freaks of nature and not humans, which makes it kind of ironic how Marvel spent years trying to make the case that X-Men figurines should not be considered humans. They did this to avoid a certain tax rule that would have cost them a lot more money. The rule essentially states that human-looking figurines should be defined as dolls, while non-human characters are defined as toys. Sorry, Xavier and company, even your creator thinks you're less than human.
Okay, so those were 10 crazy facts about Marvel, Marvel Company, Marvel characters, and things like that. Which one do you find the most interesting?
Well, I think the Michael Jackson one is pretty interesting.
Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
like, can you believe that? Michael Jackson trying to play the role of Spider-Man? Oh my God.
I
What do
couldn't
you
imagine.
what do you think that would look like?
I think probably he can play a Joker.
Ah, good. That's a good idea. He
Yeah.
actually could be very, very, he probably would have been very, very good
Yeah,
as
he does-
playing Joker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. He doesn't even need the makeup. He already looked like Joker.
he looks a lot like Joker. Yes, that is true. That is true. Which one, are there any others that you remember?
Let's see. Oh, there's another a series about the animal hero. I find that it's quite funny. Probably they target it for the children.
Well, maybe for the children, yes, but also maybe for pet lovers.
Oh yeah, probably. But actually, they look so disgusting. I have to say that they don't look. If they look cute, it's okay. But no, they
So you
don't.
don't think?
They don't
You
look cute. If they look
Yeah.
cute, it's okay.
Yeah, you don't think the pets could be good Avengers? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Um, I'm not sure if the other person here is just technical support. Let me just send a message. Hello, hello. Okay. Oh, we have somebody joining us. Jordan is here. Hello, hello, Jordan. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. I'm good.
Everything's okay, yeah?
Yes, it's okay.
Excellent, great. Jordan, we Aisha and I just watched a video about technical about 10 crazy facts about Marvel Company. Have you heard of Marvel Company?
Marvel, I heard about Marvel.
Mhm. What did you hear about Marvel?
Marvel, because I know the role of Wolverine is a kind of the Marvel.
Marvel is a company that makes comic books
Comic
and
books.
makes movies. Yes.
Okay, Marvel. The role of Wolverine is one of the Marvel or Fantastic movie. But I don't know the company's name, but I know I know the movie. Okay.
Well, Marvel is a company that makes movies. Let me help you out there by sharing a little bit of translation help here. I just need to share my screen first. Share screen. There we go, Google Translate. So the company is Marvel, which actually has a word. It has a meaning. The word Marvel actually has a meaning in English. It means an event that is miraculous, that is you haven't seen it before. It's one of a kind. It's very it's a wonder. It's a miracle, right? And then we have Company Marvel, right? That makes movies and comic books. There we go. That's basically what. Maybe I'm not.
I know
Maybe this
the
isn't
movie
going right.
called Avenger.
There you go. There's a movie called An Avenger. That's right. Avengers were designed and made by Marvel.
Yes.
Avengers. Excellent. Okay. So, did you manage to watch the video, Jordan, before you joined the club?
The video, nope.
You didn't see the video. Okay. I'm going to send a link to you. So if you want to, you can check it out. You can check it out yourself. Let me just grab the link here and then send it to you in chat. Here we go. Jordan, there we go. Aisha, what other things do you remember from the video?
I noticed that because like DC is another comic book company, so they had some financial problems. So what they do, they sold the copyright, isn't it? They sold the copyright to Marvel, so Marvel can use their characters on their comic books. So actually, that's the reason. Oh, because I know they have some crossover story. So so now I just realized, what is happened? So it's because of financial problem of DC. So I just I got it.
That's right. Yes, in the 80s, Marvel was ruling the comic book world in the United States, and their only rival DC was struggling financially. They were ready to sell rights of their characters, because you have these two, there are these two worlds, right? That we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
in comic book. There's Marvel world and then there's DC world.
Yeah, exactly.
And pretty much DC is just basically Batman. I mean, they have Superman too, but it's basically Batman, Superman, Batman, and a few other characters. Whereas Marvel is literally everybody else. Everybody else. Hulk, Spider-Man, X-Men,
Yeah.
Avengers, as Jordan mentioned, right? So what DC was ready to do, DC was ready to sell the rights to their characters to Marvel, right? And it's a good thing they didn't do it because if they did, then let me put it this way for you guys. So sell the rights, right? Then they would create a monopoly.
Yeah, exactly.
Over, that's right, over the market. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
That is never a good thing, right? Windows monopoly or Apple monopoly or Samsung monopoly or whatever, right? Those things are never really good in by themselves, because you need the competition, right? You need the competition and you need regulation as well, right?
Yeah.
For systems to work, because people need a choice, and also there has to be rules on how you make things. So yeah, that was a good thing that DC did not sell the rights to its characters to Marvel. Jordan, did you check the video out a little bit, or are you checking it out now?
Checking.
You're checking it. All right, very good. So we're gonna let you watch the video. What was I gonna ask you, Aisha? Yes. What do you think about the owner being in Europe and wanting to go to that Hindenburg Zeppelin?
Mhm.
Do you know about that? Have you guys heard of a Hindenburg disaster?
I don't know.
I have no idea about it.
Okay, that was another really interesting. That was another really interesting fact. So, basically, here's what happened. Right in the 30s, in Europe, there were these planes called Zeppelins, and Zeppelins were used to move around, right? We had planes, like normal planes, regular planes, but then we have this, Zeppelins, and they were flying people around Europe, and they were also considered transportation, right?
Yeah.
This is the Hindenburg disaster, which is basically one of the most popular, one of the most famous Zeppelins that was flying from Europe to United States, called Hindenburg, caught on fire, and unfortunately, everybody died in that crash. Now, the thing about Zeppelins is that they're still around. They're still around. You can still see them, but they're not used anymore as transportation device, right? Transportation as a mean of transportation, right? So so that's why they don't. They don't do it anymore. Actually, no. I need this. Sorry, guys. I need this a little bit smaller so that it fits.
By the way, just like the translation didn't cut out with the Mandarin sound of the words.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'm not doing that right. One sec.
I think it's probably. I think
There we go.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna work. Is this better?
No, some of the vocabulary still in English, and I think it's Google Translate problem. So probably, yeah, it's okay. Just leave it.
Yeah, I can't really tell. What is the problem with the translation?
What I saw as some of the vocabulary didn't show off in Mandarin.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm not setting it right.
I think
Second.
it happens sometimes in Google Translation.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. So no worry, it's okay. You can leave it and see if later it will come back later.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it'll come back later. I
Yeah,
think.
hopefully.
I mean, I've set it up. Well, hold on. How about now? How does it look now? Does this look like something you guys can read? Or no?
So basically, it only show off the upper one. Upper one is in Mandarin, but the bottom
Right.
one, yeah, the bottom one is not.
I don't know why the pronunciation is shown here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's no need to show it, but
yeah, it's okay. No worries.
I have to set it up. Anyways, back to Hindenburg. So in the 30s, this was, as I was saying, this was a very normal way to move around until this happened. Now, the thing with Zeppelins are filled with helium gas. Now, helium gas is a really good thing for, you know, because helium is much lighter than air. So if you have a lot of helium, it'll just go up in the air because it's lighter, right, than air.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point, basically, of how Zeppelins worked. You would have that huge gas, little, you know, cigar-shaped balloon, and then on the bottom of it, you would have a coach, an area where people would walk in and sit. Well, this happened in if I'm not mistaken, let's take a look. It happened in 1937. Yes, in 1937, and it was a disaster. Everybody died. 97 people on board. All 97 of them died, and because the helium is also very flammable. Very, very flammable gas. So what happened there is flammable, meaning it can catch fire very, very easily. And after that, people decided not to use these Zeppelins anymore. And the owner, the owner of Marvel, was going to take that ride from United States to Europe, and he couldn't find free seats. All the seats were taken. All the seats were booked, and that's why he didn't go, and that's why he survived. Basically, I think that's an amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's an amazing fact.
So
right?
Lucky.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
That's being so lucky. What else can we talk about? What did you guys remember related to the materials, related to the video? Anything else that stayed in your mind?
I'm not sure, but it's mentioned about one of the employee. He want to resign, and he used that letter as one of the communist contact.
Yes, that was a weird part. I didn't quite understand that one either. But let's say hello to Chloe. Hi, Chloe. How are you?
Hello, teacher.
How are you doing, Chloe?
Everything well, thank you.
Everything's well, great. Okay, well, we're talking more about Marvel in this club. Did you manage to check the video out maybe before joining? us?
Not yet. Sorry.
I'm just gonna, yeah, because Aisha and I have watched it together. I've sent the link to Jordan as well, and I'm gonna send it to you too. Let me just highlight it here. There we go. And then if you have the time, you can check it out. Because basically we're talking about it. One of the 10 crazy facts that we see in the video that Aisha just mentioned is one of employees at Marvel decided to quit, and he wrote a resignation letter. Right? That's how we would say it in English. Let me share it with you. Let me share this with you guys. A resignation letter, right, is or a letter of resignation. There we go. I don't know why my Google Translate is so large, such large letters. I gotta set this up somehow. I'll figure it out. Which basically is something you would write back in the day. You would actually write that, you'd sit behind a writing. You'd sit behind a writing machine and you would write a letter, or writing machine, or well, let's put it this way, typewriter. You'd sit behind a typewriter. Now you guys are young, you don't know what a typewriter is. I'll show it to you later on. And you would write that you are leaving the company and so on. And what happened is one of these writers' letter of resignation, somehow ended up in a comic book. It was used by people who worked there as a part of a comic book. It was a resignation of one of characters in Marvel comic books, leaving the group Avengers, not being with the group anymore. And they say even though 3 issues later, the company apologized for the situation and said that, they don't know what happened there. I think everybody says it is a deliberate prank. Do you guys know what a prank is?
No.
Yeah? A prank is a practical joke.
Oh, okay.
When you want to like tease somebody,
Yeah.
by setting up something, then you would make something as we call practical joke. Practical joke means you have to set up things, right? For example, the most common practical joke would be a bucket on top of the doors, and then you call somebody in and you say, please come in. And then this person opens the door and the bucket full of water gets on their head. That would be a prank. It's called a prank. That's how we call it. But I don't really know what happened there. Was this guy, the guy who left, was he famous or was he good? And then he wanted more money and then they said no. I don't know what happened there. It's a very good idea. Yeah. Very good idea. You mentioned that. Okay, Jordan, do you have anything to say? Let's put it that way.
I don't know. It's hard to express this topic.
Mm-hmm.
I have watched some Marvel movies, but actually I think there is very exaggeration.
Of course.
Exaggeration. They have extremely high technology and extremely they have a brilliant ability, or there is impossible ability.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of American comic books.
Yes.
You take a very simple premise, realistic premise,
Yes.
and then you create something absolutely exaggerated and fantastic and beyond belief. Yes, that was all. Pretty much all of it was made up or was invented by a guy named Stan Lee. Have you guys heard of Stan Lee? His full name is Stanley Lieber, but he thought that nobody would like that name, and it's not really a name that you can use. So he decided to cut up his first name, Stanley, into Stan Lee. And he was the one who pretty much figured out everything when it comes to Marvel characters.
And
He
he
designed.
he showed in each of the movie.
Yes, all of these things, all of these characters are his characters.
Just a scenery, just I don't know how to explain, just a few seconds. He showed.
Oh yeah.
Just a few seconds.
Yes. The word we use for that is cameo. Cameo, right? He would have a cameo in every Marvel movie. Yes, it's called a cameo.
Every
cameo role.
Each of the Marvel movie.
Yes, that is correct. So his idea was to, it's a very simple premise, right? A very simple idea. You take normal people and then you put them through something, and then whatever it is, it could be a spider bite. It could be a laboratory experiment going wrong. It could be anything, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, something happens to them. And then after that, they're different people. They stay the same people, but because of that thing, they can now become somebody else. And that's basically Stan Lee's idea of just character making process. And I have to say, it's genius. I mean, it's brilliant, right?
Yeah.
All 5 of us here can become superheroes if a lightning strikes and hits all 5 of our laptops, and then all 5 of our laptops shoot up some energy into us, and after 2 minutes, we're superheroes, right? Obviously, I'm the big guy who only uses muscles. Jordan's the brains, right? He can make millions of calculations, right, in his mind. Chloe is the engineer. You tell her what to make, and she makes it in 3 seconds. Aisha is the leader of the pack. She understands everything. She knows all the, strengths and weaknesses of her team, and she also works with other superheroes all the time. It is a brilliant, very simple. It's a very simple premise, right? That just everybody can do it. I think that's what's genius about it, right? A simple premise. Something happens, and we all change, and we become superheroes. And that's how we figured it out. I mean, it's brilliant, and all of us can do that, right? I just gave you guys a very small little example, but that's basically the principle, the premise of his characters. And we have Weston joining us. Hello, Weston. How are you doing?
I'm good today.
Everything's okay, yeah?
Yeah, everything's okay. And today's the last day of this school term, and today the summer has started.
So the school summer starts after tomorrow, or it ends today?
It ends today.
Oh, it ends today. So your school starts tomorrow?
Summer starts tomorrow.
The summer school starts tomorrow, or your summer, or
summer holiday.
Summer holidays start tomorrow.
Yeah. Summer holiday.
July 17th, really? That's when it starts?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right. Okay.
In US, we end everything by like, by mid-June. It's pretty much over
Oh.
for everybody. All right. Okay. All right. Well, that explains, right? Where we are with educational systems and where you guys are with educational systems. Weston, we're talking about Marvel's crazy facts and funny facts and things like that. And I'm going to share the video with you in chat. And now that we have 4 people joining us, I think we should do a little bit of breakout rooms. We have about 20 minutes left of the club, but I'm trying to figure out how to make you guys, what to give you to talk about in those breakout rooms. I'm guessing you haven't checked the video, and well, I guess we can talk about Marvel, talk about movies. I mean, this is a movie club, right? After all, it doesn't necessarily have to be 10 crazy facts about Marvel. It is a pretty specific subject. But we can all talk about movies, right?
Yeah.
All right. So how about we do a little bit of breakout room? Because I want all of you guys to speak. If I speak, then everybody has to listen, and that's not fair. You're here to chat with me, to have a conversation. So we'll go to breakout rooms and we'll talk about movies. I'm going to put this in chat for you guys just to give you a general idea. One simple question. What would world be like without the movies? What would world be like without the movies? That's my question for all of you guys. Now let's go to breakout rooms and talk about the situation. So let's have Aisha and Chloe in room 1 and Jordan and Weston in room 2. Is that okay? Oh,
Okay.
I actually can't send you. I lost host rights. There we go. I got him again. Okay. So how did we say it? We said Aisha and Chloe, and room 2, Jordan and Weston. There we go. Okay, let's go. By the way, I have figured out my translate stuff. So let me share it with you guys. Does this look good now? I think this looks good. Is this okay? Am I using the right,
Yeah, it's
the
okay.
right setup?
It's okay. You got it.
I got it finally. All right, excellent. Okay. All right. Movies, right? As we talked before, have a very strong, they play a very strong role in our lives. We may not be liking movies or we may not be watching movies, but think about it, right? We're using cameras right now, and microphones. Cameras and microphones are being used right now. That is how much a camera and a microphone is a part of our daily life today. And nobody finds it unusual or weird or strange, right? And it started with movies. That's how it started. And then technology took over its course, and now cameras are extremely cheap and the microphones are extremely cheap. But when you think about it, when and how it started with movies. Movies were the one who were first buyers of cameras. Do you know about the history? Maybe we should do a whole club on history of movies. Do you know how it started? It started with these two guys, Lumiere brothers. Now,
Lumiere
brothers, yes, Lumiere brothers, they were French inventors and, as you can see, pioneer manufacturers of photographic equipment. They were the first one to say, how about we run series of photographs and see what happens? And this is what they have done. This is a movie from 1896, which makes it what, 125 years, makes it 125 years old. And it's called The Arrival of Train at the Station. And it's literally just that. It's train arriving at the station. When they first showed this in a room, people started running out of the room thinking the train is coming to them. They were afraid, right? Because it was the first time you're seeing something. And for them, the two-dimensional image was not, they didn't know what it was, right? So they see a train coming and they started running. And that's basically it. That's it. That's the first recorded movie in history. Now, this one was made with intention, right? Intention to watch. There were some older intention of screening. Let's put it this way. It was the brother Lumiere made it because they wanted to show it to other people. There were some videos being made around the same time, but they were private videos and they were made for the family members. But brothers actually made this arrival of the train video to show it to people. And in about 10 years, we started getting first movie studios in United States and Russia. And they were sort of developing they were developing their own aesthetics, their own, I'll put in aesthetics to maybe you guys, probably Chinese has 50 better words than aesthetics than English does. where the Americans would focus more on like comedy and making sure that people laugh, right, when they come to see a show, whereas Russians, of course, went the other way, and they started making films that were pure artistic expressions of their authors, right? Things like, oh, I misspelled that. There we go, aesthetics. Artistic expressions. Of course, it's going to be a fancy word when you mention Russia. That's what that's how it's, you know, that's how it started. It started with a simple train arriving at the station, and here we are today, watching movies that have over 1,000 CGI effects in them. Yeah, do you guys know about CGI? It's CGI is computer generated image. That's what it is. And I saw a movie a couple of days ago called The Tomorrow War. I guess this needs a hyphen. There we go. It's called The Tomorrow War, and it's a Netflix movie. No, it's Amazon Prime movie. And I read that it has over 1,000 CGI shots in it. And then I started Googling, well, how snow is computer generated in that movie. They didn't even bother to go to a snowy place to film some scenes. They actually added snow to their shots made in studio with the help of the computer. And it looks like real snow. I'm not an expert, but it does look like real snow. That's where we are today. We can, you know, create wonders in studios. And Marvel was one of the companies who started heavily investing in computer generated imagery. And it paid off. They make billions of dollars with their movies. All right, guys. I guess that would be it for our little chat on movies. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to send the, of course, the vocabulary list. I'm going to send the materials in our WhatsApp group chat, so all of you can have access to it. I'm guessing next week we're going to have another little movie talk if you're interested. And yeah, I hope I'll see you guys then. All right.
Okay.
Enjoy your evening. See you guys.
Goodbye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.